Good afternoon, Muttonistas. It's a cool Wednesday afternoon in late October. The football matches are now coming thick and fast, and thankfully we've cleared another international break. And after the heady, exciting scenes at Wolverhampton where Johnny Stones got City that last-minute winner, we turn our attention to the Champions League. Not sure how many points are going to be required to finish in the top 8, but City have to keep those points rolling onto the board. We welcome Sparta Prague this evening. I think this should be 3 points, but you never know because we're struggling to break down teams at the moment. Will it be a banana skin? I hope not, but let's find out in today's Matchday vlog. So back to the traditional format of doing the food segment first. I'm absolutely rushed off my feet at the moment. I was doing something in Birmingham surrounding the Villa game yesterday. Didn't actually go to the game, but I'm back now and I'm going to bring you somewhere which I've been to once recently after being wanting to try it for ages. Rudy's Neapolitan Pizza. They have a few branches dotted around Manchester and I think other places now. And I love the pizza that I had last time. Let's hope it's consistent and it's on form, and also that, of course, City are on form as well. And of course, given the mess that the railways are in as usual, you didn't get a food segment in Wolverhampton. So I hope today we're going to make up for that, because it's not often I have pizza, and if I do, it means I think it's really, really good. Also an interesting chat with the waiter who's serving me, outside note, and he's an Arsenal supporter, a bit concerned about the injuries, as, well, I am with City's, and he said that they were a bit stodgy against Shakhtar last night. I was watching the Villa game, so I didn't see it. Anyway, also the waitress said she just dropped my pizza in the doorway, so another one's on its way. In the meantime, I'm having a glass of the Montepulciano, the house wine. They had some slightly more expensive ones, but I thought, well, I'll just go with their house and see how it tastes. It's reasonable, it's nothing special, but do you want anything particularly fancy with a pizza? Anyway, Muttonistas, after that quick slurp, I can declare myself to be match fit. Come on, City. He says I don't like too much on them, just the cheese, tomato, and maybe one other topping. And I've actually just gone for cheese and tomato, but not exactly a margherita, a pizza with tomato and torn mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella. It's one of my favourite combinations that I stumbled upon, actually, on one of City's trips away to Napoli. Rough, torn shreds of buffalo, and the bread isn't like a perfect oval, a perfect circle, like you get from well-known takeaway giants. And it's thin crust, very important. You want a bit of bread, you want the flavours of the tomato sauce and the cheese. You don't want to be eating 2 whole loaves of bread in one sitting, which is what you get with the American deep pan ones. I'm sure some of you will love that, it's just not to my taste. I'm not actually an expert at using that quarter or whatever you call it to cut these pizzas up into 4 or 8 slices, and I like using my hands, maybe a little uncouth, but here goes. Some really, really creamy lumps of mozzarella in there, and an exquisite tomato sauce, and a thin crispy base. Perfecto. I think that if you're in Manchester or any other location where you see a Rudy's, you should probably try one. Even if you prefer those deep pan ones, give it a go. It is absolutely delicious. In fact, so good, I'm not going to bother putting hot oil or black pepper on it. It's just so good as it comes. Anyway, Muttonistas, rather than indulging in more one-handed gymnastics, I'm going to get on with this. I will be in a change of clothes when I get to the pub because I've been rushed off my feet all morning and all afternoon, so I need to go and freshen up before heading out for a pint and the game. But in the meantime, a quick slurp and let's hope for 3 comfortable points. And before I go to the pub, just to add, I always like an espresso after these meals. That really was a delicious pizza. What a wonderful tomato sauce. Maybe you find it a bit uncouth as to whether I should be using my hands to eat that pizza or should I use a knife and fork. By all means, drop a comment below. Anyway, let's give the coffee a quick test. That is very, very good as well. Wow, what an espresso that is. Really delicious, nutty flavours. I know a lot of you who watch this won't be into coffee, but if you are, this is a good one. And a lot of you ask about the cost of that. It was £23.50, roughly, after I'd left a 10% tip, because the service was very good and very friendly. Even after they dropped the pizza, they brought another one out pretty quickly. Absolutely, the final thing I have to say before we head off to the pub is that today proved that this is a consistently good pizza. I am known in these parts, but both times I've wandered in completely unannounced and been served up with a great pizza. I will, next time I review, try one with some more toppings on it, although I have to say, I think that's probably unbeatable, that torn buffalo mozzarella pizza. Right, Muttonistas, definitely off to the pub now. Okay, Muttonistas, I am back at Reasons to be Cheerful, actually my local in terms of my closest pub, and I think you all know how much I like the London Black. As for the football match itself, well, as I said, I can't see past a City win, and if we don't win, something has gone badly wrong. But nothing wrong with that at all, Muttonistas. Another absolute creamer here. And apart from the tap room itself, I don't think I've had a better pint of London Black anywhere. And I'm pretty sure that Prague are going to play the way everybody else has been playing against City. Low block counter-attack. They will for sure have some pacey forwards. And it's the way that these teams used to play regardless of who they were playing when they were away from home. But I think City should have enough to deal with them, although the lack of creativity and the misuse, in my opinion, of width might hurt us again. Let's hope it's not going to be another tough nut for us to crack. And I'm rather hoping that Phil Foden gets a recall. I suspect or hope that Johnny Stones and Ruben Dias are at the back. I don't know if Ortega will play today. He's been playing well, so I don't see why not. Maybe we will use Edison though. I believe Walker's injured, so Rico Lewis will play there. And will it be Gvardiol, or Nathan Ake, who apparently is back in contention for a start? No Kevin De Bruyne still, obviously Rodri and Bob out for the season. And who do we play further forward? Well, yes, a recall for Foden, I hope. Maybe Jack Grealish, because he looked decent towards the end against Wolves and we're playing against a team who will play the same way. Maybe Savinho, because Doku, I don't know, he didn't quite cut the mustard. But I'm sure with Pep Guardiola at the helm, he'll get it right eventually in training. So, yes, hopefully Grealish and Savio out wide behind Erling Haaland, and I hope we see Foden, Kovacic and Bernardo Gundogan may be dropping to the bench for this one. Anyway, the team news is actually out as I speak. Shows you how late I leave it to get to the ground. So a quick slurp and I will be back with you to discuss that. And yes, there's been a bit of rotation. A little surprising. Akanji and Ake, Johnny Stones and Rico Lewis, Ortega in goal. And then in midfield, I think it's not a bad idea to play Matheus Nunes in this game, as Pep has done so. He needs the game time, and we're going to need him, especially if there's another central midfield injury. And so Kovacic gets a rest, Nunes deputising, and I guess given Rodri's season-long injury, well, Kovacic becomes as necessary and valuable. We also do have Phil Foden playing with Bernardo, who captains today. We have Savinho and Erling Haaland. Now, I guess that means either Foden or Bernardo, and it may switch during the middle of the game, will take a wide position. And I hope there's not a bad mistake from Nunes or somebody that lets them take an early lead and gives us a little hole to dig ourselves out with. I think we've got enough, and I think Guardiola is very good at judging how strong a team to put out against these European sides. So still pretty confident about a City win. I hope to 0 as well, because I think they will play too cagily. And yes, I do normally go to the city centre first, but A, I'm enjoying this too much, and B, it's a bit too close to the kick-off time for me to do anything other than get a taxi to the stadium. As always, Muttonistas, no time for evil UEFA anthems. Swift half instead, as always. Could have got here a bit earlier, but the beer was better where I was before. Now, a couple of people at the pub said they're not going because of the flat atmosphere and the ticket prices. Well, I think the ticket prices aren't too bad, and the atmosphere, from what I can judge, should be okay today. Well, that's the start we were looking forward to, Muttonistas. I'm glad I only had a half, because I might have missed that goal otherwise. Phil Foden's footwork, so good. He'd been looking good in those first couple of minutes before we scored in the third. 1-0 City. Foden's footwork, too good for the Sparta defenders. Well, 10 minutes till half-time. It's got a little bit flatter. City have had some chances since then. Sparta have moved the ball forward quickly a couple of times, but they just don't have the men forward. Only one sort of half chance. So hopefully it stays like that. But come on, City, just get one more, and I think this is over. Well, Muttonistas, half-time, City 1, Sparta Prague 0. After that early goal from Phil Foden, 3rd or 4th minute, I thought this was going to be a walk in the park. It's not been exactly difficult since then, and we've had some chances to probably get that second and put the game beyond Sparta's reach. But I thought the tempo slowed down horribly halfway through the half. Sparta have had the odd foray forward, but they're struggling to get out. As long as we can keep it that way, it'll be safe at 1-0. Just think we need another. Not much to add, really. Foden's done pretty well, and great to see Nathan Ake back on the pitch. Confident of us getting the 3 points in the second half. Confident of being able to get a pint tonight as well. And yes, I did have the microphone problem, and what I can bring into a stadium is not easy, but I hope it hasn't detracted from your enjoyment. I have brought spares, so the rest of the game should be okay. And this one I'm using now, I have to use without the case, always risky in case of vigorous celebrations. Anyway, I'll get my pint and I'm confident we'll be all right in the second half. So not only did my main microphone fail, so did the spare. Sorry about that. I've got more on order. Please don't send me a message saying you need to invest in a good microphone. I've spent thousands on them. I tried the Guinness at half-time. It was okay, nothing great. Possibly better than Asahi, but Guinness from plastic glasses, well, not so good. And of course, most of the action did actually happen in the second half. We had a near miss from Haaland, and then one of the most acrobatic goals I have ever seen. How the hell did Erling Haaland get to do that? I mean, that would cause most of us a hernia, I reckon. And then, again, Johnny Stones leapt like a salmon to make it 3-0. What a rich vein of scoring form Johnny is on. After that, we were treated to another goal from Erling Haaland after some really slick interchange and one-touch passing, which was too good for Sparta. 3 or 4 minutes to go of normal time. Penalty, not sure who's going to take it, given who's already gone off the pitch. Well, it was Matheus Nunes at the end and actually completes quite a good accomplished game for him. Nicely taken penalty. City 5, Sparta Prague 0. Is there going to be another one? Okay, Muttonistas, I'm back at the Salmon, or the Salmon of Knowledge for its long form name, and I'm back on the Franciscan Well Shandon Stout. I've been having it here a bit, a rare find in Britain, and I've been loving its pour here. Delicious again. I'm going to try the Guinness later, see which one's on better form tonight, because it can vary. But what I'd have to say about tonight was that we didn't actually learn a great deal, except for that Matheus Nunes had a particularly good game. He had been out of sorts, and a lot of people have criticised City and Guardiola for actually buying him in the first place. He hasn't had that much of a look in, so it was good to see him get 2 assists and a goal today. And I don't think anybody had a bad game. Great to see Johnny Stones netting again. I don't have much to add today. I just thought it was a good performance all round. The tempo slackened a little bit in the middle of the first half, but after that we were fully in control. In fact, once we were 2-0 up, it was game over, and I think Sparta were trying to reduce the amount of damage that was going to be done and look after their goal difference, which they weren't able to do. But they are still in contention for a top 24 place, in my opinion. I'd say this was a tough fixture for Sparta. I don't know much about Czech football, but I think they just have to write this one off. I think they're still in contention. They're on 4 points, but they do have some tricky fixtures to come. Another good performance from Rico Lewis, a solid game from Ortega, as we've come to expect these days, and I'm not going to dwell on this result for too long. So, the games again are coming thick and fast. My next game is Southampton at home, and then we have Tottenham away in the League Cup, a tricky fixture. And until the next one, Muttonistas, don't forget to like my videos, get me racing up that algorithm like the Guinness or the Stout races through these lines. Remember to share as well, let your friends know about my content, and don't forget to subscribe as well. That helps in a very obvious way. But the most important thing, as always, is don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.